All right, now to close off the show, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 came into theaters this past week, and it's based on the classic video games. Sonic teams up with Tails to race both Dr. Robotnik and Knuckles the Echidna to obtain the Master Emerald, a relic with the power to wipe out civilizations. This is about as fun as the first film. It's definitely bigger than the first film, so I at least like how, with the sequel, they're at least trying to go into new territory and expand on things. And overall, I still had a good time. It definitely had some of the flaws that you would expect from a video game movie. But overall, like, it definitely was enough to kill the movie for me. If you're a hardcore fan of the first movie and the games, you will definitely enjoy this. And I know this because I was sitting in between two of them. The theater was filled with kids, and I couldn't tell them apart from the two guys. I was sitting. Oh, you bastard! In between. But no, it's nice to see. And again, like I played the game when I was younger. I wasn't a diehard fan, but it's nice to see when even like at a certain age, you know, like a movie for whatever reason that's based on something or has a sort of legacy is still able to connect long after your childhood is gone. Because like I'm sure there are certain things that, like, you know, when I was younger, right? Like, you know, if there was like a real, you know, fan moment for like, you know, Harry Potter or something like that, then I'd really be able to appreciate that and like just smile from ear to ear. So obviously being in a room full of kids and diehard Sonic the Hedgehog fans, like, you know, that's definitely the kind of experience that I think you would be able to get out of this.
Yeah, honestly, my expectation of Sonic, I think, and even adapting a property like him, have a good time, have fun. Is it gonna make sense? Probably not. You know, like, that's just where it is. Is it gonna have maybe story and plot issues? Yeah, probably. But again, it's Sonic. It's a kid's movie. It's a kid's character. You're meant there to have fun. And as a Sonic fan, I had a lot of fun. And to be honest, I liked it more than the first. It checked a lot of boxes. It went places I did not expect, at least for them to go in a Sonic 2 movie. A Sonic 3, yes, but not in Sonic 2. And to me, it was just a good time. It was funny. Jim Carrey is, again, Jim Carrey. Honestly, I think he was better. I liked him more in this one. That's just me personally.
Honestly, here's the
I
thing.
like
Jim
him
Carrey's
more.
He's still entertaining. It's weird. Like, sometimes throughout the movie, I wish he was given more to do because I felt like there were times he was just being over the top, but not like over the top, like as funny as in the last film. Like, he's still definitely one of the main reasons to watch these movies. And he's, and without giving too much away, he's actually particularly menacing too, which I didn't expect. I just wish that he was given more to do.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, for me, I think he was just good. And there's just certain moments, especially in the end, I'm just like, oh my God, this is so corny for a video game movie. But at the same time, because of Sonic, I'm okay with it and I like it. Again, you have to understand the IP you're utilizing. But I also have to do a huge shout out. This is real to me. This is a big standout of the film, and that is Knuckles.
Yep. He's a great addition.
This dude, oh my God.
From a character perspective, even from a voice acting perspective, Idris Elba is terrific. And I was wondering too, like, when you have someone with the gravitas of Idris Elba, right? And like, you know, who's done like a lot of serious roles and you know, that sort of thing. I was kind of worried if casting him in a video game movie would be like too much, like too serious for a video game movie. But no, I thought he was terrific. He was imposing. Wow. He was imposing and he had gravitas, but he was funny too. Like, so overall, like, honestly, Knuckles, in my opinion, easily the best part of the movie, without a doubt. Great addition.
Absolutely. Like, he was what Idris Elba did with him, and you can tell even how the writers, they knew this character, they knew these characters. You know, again, it was great to see Colleen. I don't even want to mispronounce her last name, but you know, the actual voice actress of Tails for like the past 10 years to essentially reprise her role in the movie. That was great. You know, like, just even Tails as a character, they nailed that, and they even nailed sort of almost the bond between him and Sonic. You know, that really strong friendship, and even the admiration that Tails has for Sonic. And again, this movie checked a lot of boxes for me as a gamer, as a Sonic fan, and even just as a entertaining movie as a whole for me. And it went places I was not expecting for a sequel, And honestly, I'm excited for the third because of that post-credit scene.
Yeah, exactly. That post-credit scene, like, again, it leaves more to, look forward to. I do like the camaraderie of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. I felt like that was very well developed. It didn't just happen automatically. Yeah. It, again, with how they paced that in particular, I thought that was well done. In terms of Sonic himself, there's definitely more to him this time. And again, I like that they're trying to do different things, expanding him a bit. Still kind of annoying. And I wanted to yell "shut up" multiple times throughout the movie, but I understand too. Like, this is just
that's Sonic.
Yeah, exactly. It's just who he is. It's just who he is. He's supposed to be a cocky pain in the ass. Tails, again, I see why he's there. I do, and I like the contrast between him and Sonic. Like, obviously, Sonic is more like confident, like a bit more arrogant, and daring. Whereas Tails is a bit more, he's a bit more nervous. He doesn't automatically come out of his shell. So I like that contrast between the two of them. I also thought he was kind of annoying at certain points. Anytime that he said, "Only Sonic the Hedgehog," like, I kind of wanted to just vomit a little bit. So aggravating, like sticking nails into my ears. But again, like, it was necessary for him to be there. And overall, like I said, that trio was very well developed. Now, another thing that I've read too, and again, this friend of ours made this point a while ago. Some of the critiques for this movie is that, like, the humans weren't well developed enough, right? Not for nothing. I felt like the human characters in this movie that weren't Dr. Robotnik were too involved. I feel like it meandered with them too much. The movie could have been about a half hour shorter without them. Because the first movie is about an hour 30, hour 40. This movie docks in at like just about 2 hours, a little bit over 2 hours. I felt like it could have been shorter without them, and it would have been better without them. Because honestly, like, with all of them, I just don't care. Like, anytime, like, they would just veer off, like, with the humans. Like, there were just, like, multiple scenes that I just feel like weren't necessary. I'm like, all right, this is just to add padding to the story. This doesn't feel like it needs to be here. This movie would have been better if it just focused much, much more on Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik. Those are the four characters that you need, because the four of them alone, other than Sonic and Tails kind of being, a little bit annoying, that would have been fine. And if you just expanded on the whole global adventure aspect of it all, that could have been really, really cool.
I can understand. A part of me feels as if that it wasn't necessarily that they felt necessary, but I think they just had a much bigger impact this time around because of Sonic's, really his small increment into being a better person. And you need a character like, really, you kind of have, how I see it, you kind of have to have James Marsden back, to kind of be that. And I didn't think they focused too much, to be honest, because to me, it's like, I did think maybe they cut away to the humans a bit too much. They kind of trimmed it. I'm not saying cut it out completely, but just trimmed it and tightened it a bit more.
Yeah.
And really made it in a way where James Marsden, him, maybe even his wife, had a bigger influence in Sonic instead of that entire sequence and scene that they had. I understand why, especially with the new characters they introduced, and especially teasing for the third one. I think it definitely could have been a bit tighter. If anything, 15 minutes shorter, and I can, or 20, But again, at the same time, it flew by, so it didn't really matter too much. Plus, I love seeing, her on screen. She's just funny in general, especially that whole sequence. Like, it was fun to watch. Again, didn't really need to be there, but again, it was like, how I see it, it's a kids movie, so I'm like, I already kind of knew some of this stuff was gonna happen, but because there's not much to say other than it's just a kids movie. But at the same time, as a film critic too, it is annoying.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. And again, I feel like a lot of times, like, people use the whole like, oh, it's just a kids movie thing. But like, at the end of the day, a movie's a movie. There are a ton of kids movies out there. Yeah, like movies geared towards kids and families that, get all the things right of, like, more mature films. Like, look at how many Disney movies, look at how many Pixar movies, look at how many DreamWorks movies. They get it right. They don't, like, depending on the film, they don't have these flaws. So I don't think that necessarily that just because, like, something's a kid's movie, it automatically gets a pass. Like, at the end of the day,
well, I'm not saying I'm giving it a pass.
You're just not taking it that seriously.
As exactly, like, if if it's something like, on a much bigger scale or a different type of film like MCU or whatever, again, the expectation is slightly different for me.
That's fair. Okay.
That's really what it is. The expectation is different. Is different, and considering who Sonic is, that character in the world, is again, it could be tighter. I am admitting that, but at the same time, for me, it's just like I had a good time.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I expect from a Sonic movie.
Yeah, despite the times where, again, like the plot meandered a bit, where into places where it didn't need to go. Some of the dialogue that was just fairly cheesy. Oh, like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Like, again, this is still a good time.
But again,
in terms from like a visual point of view, anything having to do with like the Sonic the Hedgehog quote lore, right? That looked really cool. Like certain action set pieces looked really cool. The character designs themselves look really cool. Everything else, like visually about the movie, it's fun. It's kind of it's okay, but like
agreed. Yeah.
There's not too much there. But again, I understand that's not what a lot of people are going to see these movies for. They're going to basically relive their childhood.
If anything, I will say this movie felt like it was, especially when you talk about visually, it felt like two different styles and visual aesthetics not blending as well as it should. Mainly because I think it's some of the live action stuff they're doing. But also at the same time, it was very contrasting, and it made me think like maybe it would be better as just a CG animated movie instead of trying to blend it into live action. Still give them that realism as they did with the character models, but just make a CG animated, just do a CG movie with Sonic the Hedgehog instead.
That's something to think about. I do think that if they were to do that, like Dr. Eggman, like Jim Carrey's Dr. Eggman, they'd have to do like, some sort of motion capture or have him be the only live action thing about the movie. Because again, like part of Jim Carrey's greatness is his physical comedy. And again, like his physical comedy, as much as I felt like he was given more to do in the first movie, his physical comedy is still like on display here. And he does, for the most part, he does pretty well with it. So unless they pull like, a whole, like they pull an Avatar thing where they do the motion capture, or they do a Jungle Book where everything else is like CGI or computer graphics, but the one character is live action, like, Mowgli in the Jungle Book, like that could be Jim Carrey in something like this.
Yeah, or a few characters, like it's like really, it's that thing of like, instead of trying to blend it, commit to it, but then kind of go, like you said, the Avatar route or whatever. I think that could work too. I mean, I think it should have been a CG animated movie in general, but still, that's just me.
Yeah, too late, right? Too late.
Exactly.
But overall, this was a good time. Despite its flaws, I still recommend seeing it, especially if you're a Sonic the Hedgehog fan. If you're not, then you're probably not going to enjoy this as much. But if you are, this will be a good time. If you have kids, take them to it.
Yeah,
exactly. If you got kids too, I wasn't even thinking about that. If you got kids, like this should be a good time, a good distraction for 2 hours before you have to deal with the harsh realities of raising children. Okay. All right, for everybody, did you actually get a chance to see Sonic the Hedgehog 2? If you did, what'd you think? Was it as good as the first one? Did the first one deserve a sequel? Did it live up to being a sequel? Leave your thoughts wherever it is that you can.